Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Terry Tamminen, the President and CEO of AltaSea here in the Port of Los Angeles. We welcome you all to our open house, an amazing program today, and the number one thing you want to accomplish is to get me off the stage and get to it. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. But before we do that, I want to thank all of the staff, especially, of course, my team here at AltaSea, who put this on, who work so hard to do our open houses, but every day to accomplish our mission of climate solutions at scale from the ocean, workforce training, education, blue business incubation, developing the blue economy right here in San Pedro. Please give a great big round of applause to the AltaSea team. Thank you all. And to our volunteers, again, we are a small staff, paid staff, but exponentially enhanced by our volunteers. Could not do this without you, and we're going to be talking more about our volunteer program later. So please give our volunteers a great big round of applause. And we have wonderful leadership, which again, we also could not do our work without our board members, including our chair, Dr. Geraldine Natz. Geraldine, wave, yes. I don't know if any of our other board members are here yet. If you are, wave your hand. If you're not, just tell me that you're not. Okay, great. I also want to recognize those of you that are looking at the tables all around. We have a number of community groups here, a number of our partners here, like the USC Kelp Lab and so forth, are all here. So spend some time with them after we have our program. A lot to learn, a lot to enjoy. And speaking of volunteers, you don't have to just volunteer for us. You can volunteer for them too. And last but not least, I just want to mention what it is that AltaSea does, for those of you who may be new to AltaSea. Right now, we're here in this 110-year-old warehouse. Looks a little bit tired, looks like it needs a little refurbishment. Well, guess what? The 3 warehouses to the south of us are being renovated into a modern blue economy hub. And what do we mean by that? We mean aquaculture, both on land and at sea, for, of course, seafood and food, but also things like growing kelp. And you can see the Kelp Lab back there and learn about how kelp can be farmed, just like anything else, but out in the open ocean, and you can extract food and fuel and pharmaceuticals and all kinds of amazing things from kelp and other seaweed. We also work on renewable energy, so you'll see an exhibit out on the wharf of EcoWave. That's one of the wave energy companies, and we have about 30 of them that are trying to come into California now, and we're trying to help them so we can harvest clean, renewable energy from the waves. We also do carbon capture. Along our wharf, you're going to see some barges, including one from UCLA that's the closest, and then others that are pulling carbon pollution out of the water. You've maybe heard of direct air capture, where we're trying to pull our carbon pollution out of the air. This does it out of the water, and one of the byproducts is clean hydrogen that we can use to electrify and clean up a lot of the diesel equipment in the ports, which is another very important piece of our work. And then underwater robotics and technology. When we open our public engagement center in the newly renovated Berth 58 here in a few weeks, we'll be having exhibits from Bob Ballard, who found the Titanic, and so many other of our ocean explorers, including our Tongva and other native local tribes that you're going to hear from this morning. So a long history of ocean exploration from the past, the present, and the future. But we also then provide K through 12 education so that kids get to know about the ocean, and then we work with 13 community colleges on workforce training programs, so you too can enter that blue economy workforce and get a great job in the future helping us sustain our planet. So that's what AltaSea is all about. Please ask any of our team members for more information. If you like this cap that I'm wearing, and I see a few others are wearing, thank you very much. You can purchase one of those, and that'll help support our cause. We've also got some other great swag in our marketplace there, so right in the back. So feel free to take advantage of some of that or become a member of AltaSea. We need you all. So with that, let me make sure that I've done all of my official duties here in welcoming you and mostly just vamping until everybody took a seat and got their last cup of coffee and so forth. And now it's my pleasure to bring to the stage our culture bearer and advisor, Tina Calderon from the Tongva Gabrielino tribe.
Thank you, Terry. Ihan nehinkem netwanya netino orduno Calderon, komikrabet naha Tongva, koi mixkanakan, koyo eme, awesh koneha ko avomanete hovetamet. Good morning, my relatives. I am Tino Orduno Calderon, Gabrielino Tongva, Ventureño Chumash, and Yoeme. I'm really happy to be here with all of you today. I want to welcome Eyo Kukuyam, all of our guests to AltaSea's Open House. And I'm very excited about today's sharing from the Tiat Society. And by how many people registered and are here, it shows that you all are excited about it too. So I wish Koneha, thank you all for joining us. Let's see. And to Eyo Hinkum Tongvatam, I want to thank you for being here, for sharing, and also want to welcome you home. So I'd like to begin this gathering by acknowledging our tribal relatives, past, present, and those to come, the original Tarahatam of Tovangar, to these very lands and waters, those who have been rooted in this very place for countless generations. I express my deep gratitude to my ancestors for their teachings of us to live in harmony and reciprocity with our lands, our waters, the minerals, the plants, and animal relatives. All across our tribal territory, from San Fernando Valley, south to Newport Beach, east along Kahopakait, the long river, which you call Santa Ana River today, all the way to Santa Ana River, all the way to Corona and Riverside, and then back along the foothills. And we also held the 4 Southern Channel Islands. Our relatives, our ancestors, they have cared for these lands for millennia, and we still do. Yarar komokre hanuk vatam. We remember our ancestors. Awesh konreha ahihirom kohanayanad. We thank our elders and our teachers. Garukanakre eyotarhem. We stand with our children and the 7 generations to come. And I'd like to also encourage all of you to be good relatives and to help us to restore Eyoyokohod to her natural, healthy self. I'm going to offer an ancestor song before we call up our esteemed Tiat Society here. Eyo hinkem honuk veteme, wonte kwa. Eyo hinkem honuk veteme, wonte kwa. Yarar como créeme, yo hinkmo, honuk vetmo, achumechmo. Oh, yo hinkem, honuk veteme, wonte kwa. Yo hinkem, honuk veteme, wonte kwa. Yarar como créeme, yo hinkmo, honuk vetmo, achumechmo. Oh, yo hinkem, honuk veteme, wonte kwa. Yo hinkem, honuk veteme, wonte kwa. Yarar como créeme, yo hinkmo, honuk vetmo, achumechmo. Oh. And that song talks about how our ancestors were here, right here. These are our lands, these are our waters. So I'm going to be inviting our Tiat Society leaders here. We have Cindy Alvitri, Desiree Martinez, and Frank. But before you actually take your spot up here on the stage, I have a small gift for you. And so I want to call you up here to stand here with me. And then while they're coming up, I would like to offer the ancestor song that everybody in our community knows so that we can all sing united. Okay? Come on up. Come on up. Yeah, come on. Let them see you. Sorry. Come on up. Joe, do you want to help us? So I think you will all recognize this once you see it. It was given to me when I was doing storytelling one time in this area by a family who were there on this particular day, and they had it framed. Wow. Oh, wow. So I wanted to make sure that it came back home to the rightful peoples. And you could do whatever you want to with it. If you would like to keep it here once we have the tia here, it's up to you. Up to you.
I'm not gonna say.
Okay. Yeah, and you can take it anytime you want. So let's go ahead and sing the ancestor song. All of my Tongva Tom, please join in. Kai hunu kaneshin neshun, kai hunu kaneshin neshun, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e. Tai hunu kaneshin neshun, tai hunu kaneshin neshun, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e. Tai hunu kaneshin neshun, tai hunu kaneshin neshun, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e. Tai hunu kaneshin neshun, tai hunu kaneshin neshun, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e. Tai hunu kaneshin neshun, tai hunu kaneshin neshun, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e, nahakwa neshun, nahakwa e. All right, thank you all, and now I turn this over to y'all. Thank you.
You go first. I go first? Why do I always have to go first? I don't think that's very fair. Mea huen, mea ha haku, buenos dias. Good to see all you people here. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much for being here and sharing this space, because this is, Moomat, our ocean, is listening. She feels all the love. She feels all of your energy and all your hopes and your dreams to move forward into a healed future for all those children, our nieces, nephews, everybody, all humans. We all come from earth-based tribes. At the beginning of this magnificence we call Mother Earth, everybody had that relationship to Mother Earth, and our charge now is to assure that we provide and share knowledge, experience, and kindness to proceed into a future. So that's the heart and soul of who we are as Tiat Society. And just want to share a little bit of the history. I'll show you my tattoo. It's a fairy. No, it's not. This is a tattoo. This is a genealogy of Moomat Ahiko, and she's not here today because there's construction ongoing here at AltaSea, and we all felt it was in the best interest of her, to take care of her, not to have her in this space. But Moomat Ahiko was born from a dream, a prophecy. I don't know. It's kind of written there as my dream. when my kids were all very little, like back in the 80s, was it 80s? Yeah, it was a long time ago. I remember their names, though. I do have 4, and I remember their names. That's a good thing. And I woke up in this dream. And in this dream were the Santa Ana Mountains. That's what this represents. There's Abalone Fish Hook and the 2 mountains, the Santa Ana Mountains, the Saddleback Mountain. And when I went into the backyard, I heard all this laughing and giggling, and I saw my kids and other kids out there, and they were tossing these big, massive balls of lava to each other, playfully, joyfully. And I'm like, girl, you need to go back to bed. You are really tired today. You know, you did too much work. So I went and crawled back into my bed in my dream, and I woke again. But this time when I went out there, they were still doing it. But in front of them, the Saddleback Mountains were a warrior that was embedded into the mountains. One saddle and one saddle. Shoulder, shoulder. His head was emerged out of there. His eyes were closed. His hair was black, thick, all tied up with a beautiful hair stick. His eyes were closed, and right here was where all the lava was coming out. And suddenly there was a lake, a water in front of the mountains, and boats start moving into the water. These boats were canoes. I hadn't really seen one before. And suddenly all of our people are going into the boats. And I'm telling everybody, pukushe, paddle, paddle, you know, one more time, one more time. And then when everybody is in complete synchronicity, this gorgeous warrior, he was gorgeous. He looked like maybe Jason Momoa, I don't know. But when everybody was in complete synchronicity, he opened his eyes, the lava stopped, the mountains parted, and we were paddling to Pimu, to Catalina Island. And I wake up from something like that. It's like, is that from my partying days back in the 60s? You know, you're scratching your head really seriously. You're like, but I'd never inhaled. Is that what Bill Clinton said? I didn't inhale. Yeah, didn't really happen. Nonetheless, there we are, there I am, and I'm thinking, is this a dream? Is it a prophecy? What is it, right? 2 weeks later, this man calls me. His name is Jim Noyes. Hello, I have Indigenous Maritime Society I've organized, and I go throughout the world. You know, I'm disabled, but the water is my freedom because he's paraplegic. I love kayaks. I love wooden watercraft. I helped the Irish to recover the Navag on the Shetland Islands and all these things that he did. And he says, do you know what a tiat is? He was talking about the boat in my dreams. And then came the next remark that just cycled into all of this. And he says, do you want to build one? Do you want to build one? I will pay for it. That was in the 80s. It took us into the late 80s, into the 90s. We built Moomat Ahiko, means what? Moomat means language lesson. Tina, Moomat is ocean. Ahiko is breath or wind, so ocean wind, right? So she was built in Santa Barbara in the late 80s, 89 into 90, right around there. My father was still alive. My father was a skin diver. He was actually an abalone diver. And so I grew up on this coastline in, you know, Catalina, and being able to just be immersed in the water and have that knowledge. But his dream was, he was a boatman all the time. And so we started to build the boat in the backyard in Santa Barbara of Peter Howarth. Peter Howarth was a boat builder. He also had worked with the Chumash, with the Brotherhood of the Tomol back in the 70s. He had some knowledge of how to build these sewn plank canoe that have no nails. Everything is lashed together. That's why you see the exhibit, especially the part over there. It's all about the fibers. Think about all that we do every day with fibers, with cordage, with string, with yarn, all these things. So there we were. He was also the president of the American Cetacean Society. So as we're building this, there was like injured and recovering sea lions and baby ones barking at us. But we accomplished it, and that's where Moomat Ahiko was born. She was born then. She was the first to be born in probably over 150 to 200 years. And that's what was here. I have a photograph on this table here. It's a picture of San Pedro Harbor a daguerreotype, 1850. If you want to know what it looked like where we are here right now, look at that picture. It's haunting. And to recall that how many of you know Island of the Blue Dolphins? Hands really high. I want to see this. I'm taking a poll. Okay. So you know the story about the woman from, there's a Scott Odell fictional rendition of this that is kind of like a sanitized version for children. And then you have the real story of the people on San Nic Island, which is a good 90 miles out, flat, windy, isolated. And eventually the people, just as all the island people, are relocated from Catalina, from San Clemente, from all the islands in San Nic. When they took the people from Catalina Island in the 1920s, they came into this harbor. When they brought the people in 1835 from San Nicolas Island, they came into this harbor. And most recent archaeological information has disclosed that one of the men that came in the first run, because she ended up there, that was 1835, she ended up in San Nic till 1853 when she was relocated by George Nidiver, but they took her to Santa Barbara and she didn't last long. But one of the men that was here, his name, they called him Sparrowhawk. Eventually he was buried where there was Rattlesnake Island. There are islands out there, which is part of Terminal Island now, where there's legends about. There's all kinds of rumors. There's pirates and Bluebird and Blackbird and I don't know, Johnny Depp, people that ended up out there. But he stayed here, and what evidence they're finding now is they say that he potentially was her husband or her partner, and he managed the little dory that went out when the ships came in and they docked and they anchored, that he would go out in the dory to bring the people. And he waited here for her until he died. So where we're at today is very significant. And it is no accident that Moomat Ahiko, like you said, welcome home, that she's here. It's really emotional for me because this is a long time coming. We've been looking for a home for Moomat Ahiko, and I promise you all, as long as we're here, everybody will learn, we will share, we'll build a future together. We will. So I want to say thank you to everybody, and I know we have two other speakers. Desiree Martinez will be up next, and she's going to talk about a project that has provided the resources for us to be able to be here a little bit more present today. And then our captain, Frank Magallanes, Captain Frank, right? We've had a few captains, but he is the current captain, and we're really proud. And I'd like everybody, Tiat Society over there, and just to kind of give you a general, where's everybody at? Wave, stand up, Valerie, Javi, River Garza, our resident artist, Larry Smith, Fraze, Victoria Aguilera, Albert, Kenneth. We have everybody over there, so we have a display, and we have River Garza, who's actively painting a banner, okay? But please ask questions, and I will turn it over to Des. Will be talking about, she has a presentation to give, and then Frank's going to kind of update you on the condition of Moomat Ahiko. She is a living being, right? And we're going with her, okay? Thank you.
So I want to thank everybody here, and if you've been noticing behind Cindy, she wasn't looking at it. I made this presentation of some of the photos that we've collected. For the past year, we've been working with USC, where we received a grant from the Library of Congress and the Center of Folklife, where they give out community grants for various communities to collect information, interviews, etc., from within their communities in order to describe something. So this is really reaching out and not just thinking about, Library of Congress and various museums only care about the famous people, right? But this is going into the communities and creating, collecting that history of our community. And so we decided to write this grant to record the development of Moomat Ahiko and Tiat Society. And one of the big things also that pushed this is that, unfortunately, in the last 4 years, we've lost 2 elders. And in some instances, a lot of those 2 elders were ones that went in and really learned about our plants, about our culture, about our traditions. And as they were alive, they passed on that information to us individually as community members, but they also took a lot with them when they passed. And so we thought it was very important to do interviews, live interviews with people that were involved in the building of the Tiat Moomat Ahiko, to not only talk about how it was built, but also experiences. And I hope Frank will be able to share his experience of being in a traditional canoe, being on the water, etc. So in addition to doing interviews with each of the members that are part of Tiat Society and help build Moomat Ahiko, we also collected that paraphernalia, right? Those photographs, those flyers, and I'm so happy that Tina gave us this poster, because that's something we need to scan. And at the end, and the grant ends at the end of April, so we got 3 weeks to finish. But all of the photos that we've collected, as well as the interviews, will go online and be available to the public in order to view and listen to the stories of the people of Tiat Society, so that you can also learn a little bit about what it takes to build Moomat Ahiko, what it feels like to be on the water, to paddle. And one of the pictures up here, as it goes by, you'll see River as a little child, and along with his cousin Javi. So he's been it since he was birthed, basically. He birthed and everything. So, collecting those stories and making sure that we can share that not only with the general public, but also within our community. And I really hope that we'll be able to use this space, thank you, AltaSea, to be able to maybe make more sewn plank canoes for our community, and we can pass on that tradition and that building techniques to the future generation. One of the other reasons why Moomat Ahiko is not here is because her trailer is broken, and so she's currently in Simi Valley, way far away from where we are now. So as this event, as we end this little talk to you, hopefully you'll come by and make a donation, and with a $20 donation, you'll get a free t-shirt. And that'll help bring Moomat Ahiko here. We also have stickers as well as some postcards of River's art available for a donation as well. So thank you all, and I'll bring up Frank now.
It's good to see everybody here. My comfort zone isn't in front of a bunch of people, in front of a microphone like this. I'm comfortable on the water in the Tiat. So excuse me if I ramble, but I just wanted to say what Tina had to say and what Cindy and Des said. There were a lot of things they touched on, but mainly that it'll be great to be part of this AltaSea here. There's a lot of really good work going on around here, and I can see, and I've talked to some of the people that are here, and it's really good to see, because I think mainly the connection is that everybody has a connection to the water and the elements, and that's what's really important. And I think I know it's going to be really good once we have Moomat Ahiko here, because she's going to be close to these elements that she should be close to, and one of the challenges that we've always had is getting her close to the water. Accessing the water for a day is fine, but having a place where she can stay is a whole other thing. And to have that here is going to be really, really nice. It was funny that Des said that River's over there doing painting. Moomat Ahiko's about the same age as River. And River's in good shape. She's in good shape also, but as I'm sure a lot of people here know, boats and the maintenance involved, and that's one thing that's always been a challenge. And you can imagine a wood canoe, the maintenance that's required. That's going to be another good thing that we can accomplish here, as well as building a new trailer. Des touched on, if you guys want to come by, check out the table. But these T-shirts are cool. And, shout out to Ryan, his people, for printing up these T-shirts, right? That was good. So if you want to give a donation, then that could help us get the trailer going, get her down here where I think she belongs, a new home and a great place to be. as far as, paddling in Moomat Ahiko, you can see by these pictures. I mean, I'm really sorry that she's not here today. It would have been great if everybody could see her, but when she is here, if people can come back, I'm sure you can see her in person and get a sense for what she is, because, there's a certain spirit to every boat that enters the water, and she has a really special spirit, especially her connection to these waters here. And you can see from the pictures, it's really a special thing when you see her on the water, especially in the juxtaposition with all the other boats. And in this harbor in particular, it's pretty interesting because of all the powered boats, and she's just powered by humans and no hardware, just natural elements that hold her together, which is really a great connection to the elements also. And there's also a video, I think, that's playing back there if you want to see video, because that's really cool to see her in the water. I think there's even clips of her welcoming in one of the Hawaiian sailing vessels that came over in 2018. And we went out to greet her in Avalon, which was really special. But anyway, there's a lot to cover and to accomplish when we get her here, and we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be great to have her here near the water and near a lot of people here that I can see are interested in her, which will be really good to be have you all welcome back here once she's here.
Did you have anything you were going to conclude? Am I concluding then? I'm concluding. Okay. So this is what we would like everybody to do. We have the Moomat Ahiko song. I'm going to sing it once. I'm going to let everybody sing, all of Tiat Society, everybody who knows it, sing it. And I'm going to teach you the hand movements, because I want everybody to come away from here knowing how to do that, because next time we gather, we're going to have a dance crew, right? I know Dorothy likes the music she likes, and that's cool too, right, Dorothy? But we can do that too, right? Okay. Okay, so this is the way the song goes. So the words are Moomat Ahiko, Bararahamino. Moomat Ahiko, Bararahamino. Bararahamino, Bararahamin, Bararahamino, Bararahamin. I am not a language expert, that's Tina. But basically it's saying, Moomat Ahiko, she goes through the waves. So it's like, Moomat Ahiko, she goes through the waves and she lands on the island. She goes through the waves and she lands on the island. There's two versions. As we paddle, as we paddle, as we paddle, as we paddle. Now, for all you masky lights, all you guys are like, "Grr." Then you can go paddle, and you paddle, and you paddle, and you paddle. Okay, so you can do that in 7 or in between or whatever, right? Okay, so you guys, who wants to sing?
You sing.
Oh, I'm going to sing it, but I got to. Okay.
I'll sing it with you, but do the microphone.
Okay.
Do the microphone.
But it blocks my hands.
Here, we got one on the stand.
Here. Oh.
The cool sound guy with the cool sweater. We had a conversation. Okay, here we go. Okay, ready? Ready? No, it's done, done, done. I'll start it and
You come
then.
over here.
Come on, Tina. Get up here with us. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hold the beat for us.
Okay, ready? Okay.
Moomat Ahiko, Parahamino. Moomat Ahiko, Parahamino. Parahamino, Parahamino. Parahamino, Parahamino. Moomat Ahiko, Parahamino. Moomat Ahiko, Parahamino. Parahamino, Parahamino. Pararahamino, pararahamin. Moomat Ahiko, pararahamino. Pararahamino, Pararahamino, Pararahami, Pararahamino, Pararahami.
Thank you, everybody. And I just want to say thank you to Terry, to AltaSea, to Dorothy, to Alan, to all the volunteers, to Dr. Lynn Dodd, USC. There's so many people really that have been involved in this, and it just shows our circle keeps getting bigger and bigger, but just keep your ears and your eyes open and look forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy, Desiree, and Frank. Give them a great big round of applause. Thank you so much for all you do. You know, one thing that I've learned a lot from our Indigenous friends is, you know, we tend to think about the people who were here before as being gone, and they're very much not gone. The people are still here. The other thing which Tina has always taught me is that it's not just the human people, it's not just the human life that we care about. All things have life and all things have meaning. They are all our brothers and sisters, our ancestors, past, present, and our future. So we have to think about that connection, and that's part of AltaSea's mission, and we couldn't do it without our friends that you've heard from today and without this amazing resource that'll be coming here to be a physical manifestation of these ideas. And as we've said, we're sorry that Moomat Ahiko is not here today, but coming very soon, and May 29th, mark your calendars, we're going to have a big grand opening of the newly renovated space. And that will include, we hope by then, certainly Moomat Ahiko. So give them all a great big round of applause. And now I invite you to support all of the community partners that you see here today, especially the Tiat Society, of course, especially AltaSea. Great cap. Don't forget, you too could be wearing one of these. But please get to know our community friends at the various tables, introduce yourself, and think about volunteering. We've got lots of work to do for all of our friends here, including here at AltaSea. We welcome you. Sign up for your future newsletters so you know about our other open houses and our events when we get into our newly renovated space. Thank you for coming today. Enjoy.